Life is a cabaret, old chum.
Yes, it is.
That wasn't Liza, by the way. I do a much better Liza impersonation.
I'm sure you do.
That.
No use of sitting alone in your room.
I used to have this girlfriend known as Elsie.
When I go, I'm going like Elsie.
Right. I mean, you'd have to.
I already am on the way.
There. You're further along than she would. You're already the most beautiful corpse I've ever seen. Or the happiest corpse. Both, actually.
Right.
So. Oh, how's that for an opener? Cabaret at Little Lake. We're both doing this one.
Yes, we are, because we both saw it together.
Yes. What a nice night out with Lonnie the theater lady. And you behaved yourself, except for, when you kept grabbing my thigh during Act 2, you dirty broad. Keep your hands to yourself.
It's such an exciting show.
I was joking. Were you really grabbing? So Cabaret... yes, is a musical based on the play I Am a Camera, based on a book by Christopher Isherwood, and it's had a couple revivals over the years, and this particular production is, I think, most close to the 98, I could be wrong about that, revival on Broadway, and it's was really, I think, a groundbreaking musical at the time, because it was one of the first where the songs happened sort of organically within the musical, and in this case, most of them are being performed on stage in the Kit Kat Club, this sort of seedy club in Berlin during the advent of World War II. So you have all these themes in there about the Nazis rising to power and love connections coming and going, and. Yeah, how's that for a off-the-cuff synopsis of this?
Pretty good. I think that covers it. Kander and Ebb did the music and lyrics, and I usually enjoy their shows. And this actually, Cabaret, is one of my favorites. And I think to make this show work, one of the most important elements is you have to have a very lively, energetic, powerful, bold Sally Bowles. And Ashley Harmon, I think, filled that role. She was, and I enjoyed her vocals, too. And I thought she was a good Sally, and I loved the costumes she wore, too.
Sally Bowles, the lead character, which Liza won an Oscar for playing in the, 78, 79 film version of this. I'll add to that, I think that, it's hard... So many things about this show are so iconic, and so many elements from that recent Broadway revival. It's so easy to fall into imitation, but I think that she really did Ashley Harmon make it her own. It was totally absolutely unique in her own, and I think that really came out in the last song that she did, Cabaret.
Yes.
It was a really
wonderful
original
rendition.
take on that.
Yes.
And that was nice
rendition.
to see when so many things, are easily imitated in this.
And the other song, too, actually, I wanted to mention. Well, we talked about this as we walked out. Mine Hair. That version of Mine Hair that they did, I thought was absolutely wonderful. The choreography, the costumes, the staging, and that was really a big undertaking, not just that song, but very courageous for Little Lake with their diminutive stage to take on something that big, and that production number, Mine Hair, was big.
So let's unpack that a little bit. You've been seeing shows out at Little Lake much longer than I have.
Right.
Would I be correct in saying that if you have been, a long time patron of Little Lake, this is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen there before?
Every so often they push the envelope a little bit with the risque,
which is fantastic.
So
I'm really glad to see this show out there and done. Relatively well. But you talk about that number specifically Mine Hair, which I really feel was probably one of the best pieces in the entire show.
I totally agree.
And a lot of credit there goes to the Kit Kat Girls, who I think were one of the best elements of it. A great ensemble.
Yes, I agree.
Excellent ensemble. Voices, wonderful. Stage presence, character, the look.
Their attitudes.
Really great when they were on stage. And really coordinated. They really made it light up. And the choreography here is Joe Nickel, correct?
And Ashley Harmon helped with that.
The choreography makes all the difference in the world to this show. Mm-hmm. So, and when it was like really on, I mean, the Mine Hair was, it was hot. And in fact, I would say that's probably one of the best Mine Hairs I've ever seen. I mean, including in professional theater. It was that good. That was like the standout. And I kind of wished every number could have like got to that level somehow. Even the ones that weren't that large and flashy to like be that polished and on. But that number itself, I think, was great.
The other number that I wanted to mention, just because I found it so emotional, was the Tomorrow Belongs to Me that they did right before the intermission. Uh-huh. And I thought the sweetness of their voices, in contrast to what that song really turned out to mean, was so moving, so emotional for me. I really felt it in my heart and in my soul.
And I mean, that's, I think, due to, the artistry of Candor and Ebb there, but I've always had a weird relationship with that song because I actually like the song, and but when I remember the content, what it's actually about, then I kind of cringe. But as a song, it's really kind of fun. I want to jam to it while I'm out at the park, the blossom embraces the bee. It's really cool.
It's
but
sweet.
It's haunting then when you see that what's going on when they're singing it. The Nazis sort of all saluting and rising to power. It's very creepy. A lot of creepy things about this show. It's wildly entertaining, but it's also very dark and poignant and uncomfortable a lot of
times. And two other performers that I really liked, and their acting and their vocals. Fraulein Schneider, who was played by Christy Rodabaugh. Mm-hmm. I thought her vocals and acting were both very strong. Mm-hmm. And I liked Fraulein Kost. She had the kind of fun role of bringing all the sailors in her room. She was played by Anna Gergerich. And I also thought that her vocals were very strong. Yeah, and her stage presence was large, and she was there.
Yeah, I thought Christy Rodabaugh's Fraulein Schneider had a lot of great moments.
Yes, she
there
did.
Are a lot of great moments there.
Poignant.
This show, I think, gets has a reputation now. Like when you hear that, a company's doing cabaret, it's like, ooh, it's cabaret, it's gonna be sexy and like titillating, And I think just like once I would love to see a theater company have the balls to just do a totally non-sexy version of cabaret and not get caught up in all of that. Like all the Kit Kat girls would be these,
librarians,
like German housefraus over 65 years old in like 3 layers of clothing, just kind of clunking around the stage like football players. Like it would actually be like more perverse that way. And I think if you really want to shock people with cabaret today, that's the only way to do it. Because my point is that sometimes it seems to be all about like the sexiness and the scandal.
Berlin.
Here's the thing.
Berlin was like Paris.
Oh, I get that, but if you can't nail that in every respect, it kind of doesn't come together. The MC, which is a very important role in this, and here played by Jeff Johnson, that role is a lot of things in this play, but I think most of all, that character and the performance of that character is the linchpin that sets the tone for the entire show. Like any MC would, for any, ceremony or cabaret. And I think the performance here was a very even performance. Mm-hmm. And, I don't offer that as a criticism anyway, just simply as I observed it. And, that's a fine choice. However, when you get into some of the racier aspects of this, like, for example, the number Two Ladies, where they're basically having a playful threesome on stage, the show hasn't risen to that level yet, like in the first 5 minutes set by that MC, then things down the road might come off a little shocking and like a little like, ooh, because it hasn't earned it yet, you know? So I think in some respects the show didn't get to earn all of those, you know, payoffs from, you know, a lot of the sultry, salacious thing. Even some of the lines kind of were like, ooh, you know, whereas it should have just been kind of part of the motif. But I think really well directed by Art Deacon-Sillis.
Yes.
I think a lot of people forget how difficult it is directing some shows in the round like that, and that's what Little Lake is. This show, I think, really lends itself to a lot of creativity for directors to stage it a lot of different ways, and I think Art did a really great job in using that space for something like this. It was a lot of fun, you know.
I really enjoyed the music, too. It's so much fun when there's a live band and they don't overplay the singers, and they really contribute to the tempo and the mood and the feeling. So I loved hearing the live music, too. That was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. A fun treatment of Cabaret, for sure. And you can see it out at Little Lake
until the 24th of August.
Until the 24th of August. Mein Herr.
You have to understand the way I am. Mein Herr.
And your hair looks fabulous today, I must
thank
say.
you.
I really do. Yeah.
So is your hair.
Oh, get out of here.